Nick, we're here at the Heineken Champions Cup launch. How are you finding the day?
It's been good. Obviously happy to be here. It's been quite seamless between everything, so yeah, just excited.
Yeah, it's a very busy day. Are you seeing some familiar faces?
Yeah. Obviously, 40 being here, it's weird seeing him in a sail uniform. But yeah, like a few of the England boys that I've played with before. It's nice, it's nice to see some old faces that you haven't seen for a while, which is good. But I'm just excited to be here, excited to be back, obviously in the Champions Cup. So yeah, it's just excitement all over the place.
And how's things with Saracens at the minute? How would you say their form is?
The boys are doing well. They haven't actually lost in the league yet, so the boys have been on fire. It's been great to watch. They've been doing a lot of good stuff, and I suppose we couldn't have asked for a better start. There was a few games where it could have kind of gone either way or either way, and kind of scraped a victory. So, but there's been other games where it's come together. So we've kind of enjoyed the first part of the season.
And the first game is against Edinburgh, so it's a tough one for your first game.
Yeah, those guys are good. They obviously love the competition, like us, and it's a great competition to be in. I think the levels kind of go up a notch. You're playing against the best players in Europe, the best teams in Europe, and I think it's like a proving ground. You want to prove yourself, and I'm sure that they'll be wanting to do that like we are. So it's a great game to start off with. So yeah, we're excited.
And before we started the interview, I was asking you, have you ever played against Ireland or the Irish provinces? And obviously you've played against the likes of Leinster. How would you describe Irish rugby?
I'd say very pragmatic, very pragmatic. They're very in sync with each other. They know a lot of. They know what each other are going to do. They played with each other for a long time, and I suppose it's a game that is. I feel like whenever I've played Leinster, it's very much like a chess match, like in terms of territory, set piece battle. Forwards always know what they're doing, always in the right place at the right time. I've played against Johnny Sexton a few times, which has been good. He's a fierce competitor. So no, it's an interesting game, very very tactical game. And I suppose as a forward pack, you have to be on the ball with everything that you're doing, because they're going to know what they're doing. They're going to know the ins and outs of their game. So yeah, it's interesting.
Andre, how much are you enjoying your rugby at the minute at Leicester?
Yeah, I mean, I have not played much, unfortunately, due to the injury, but just enjoying the environment. Really, it's really good. I think Steve's done a great job of course, turning things around, getting the club successful, but just having a great sort of learning environment. We just want to become better every day, and it's just really been great to be a part of it.
And as you said, you're just coming back from injury, so how was that, I suppose, challenging at times to be on the sideline?
Yeah, it always is. Unfortunately, I've had enough of it in my career to know how to handle it. But yeah, it's frustrating, especially getting to a new club. You want to be a part of the boys and contribute as quickly as possible. But it is what it is. It should be 4 or 5 weeks, should be back in it. And yeah, can't wait.
And how well have you settled into the club?
Oh, very well. It's a great bunch of guys, a good young group of players. And like I said, it's just a great environment to be a part of. And especially coming off last season, of course, it's very, very positive. So it's a really nice place to be at the moment.
And the Heineken Champions Cup for the first time is, entering South African team, so it's bringing a new dimension to that. You know all about that?
It's going to be good, man. I think it's going to be great for the competition. I think it's going to be tough for the South African teams, getting to play in both competitions. It's a lot of games, a lot more than they had last year, so it'll be good to see how they handle that. But I think in general, it'll be great. It'll be great for the competition. It's going to be something nice and fresh. Travelling up and down is going to be a bit long, but that's all right. I think it's going to be all good, and it's going to be a great addition to the competition.
What do you think that the South African teams can add?
I think firstly, the conditions. It's going to be very, very contrasting when you go up and down, especially in January and December. So that's going to be tough for a lot of teams, for them coming here also. But for teams going there, it's going to be very hard. And altitude's going to be tough. So that's going to be something interesting to see how teams handle that. And then, like all South African teams, the physicality is something they can always bring into the competition. I think the French teams have dominated because of that, their physicality in Europe lately. So it's going to be good to see how the South Africans can match up to them.
And how has Leicester's form been at the minute so far this season?
Yeah, not great. We went up and down a bit, which is normal. After you once, everybody's coming for you and everybody want to beat you. So we had a couple of really close games away from home that we lost. And we've only played 3 games at home due to the teams going into administration. So we're going to have a nice stretch of games at home going into the final part of the season, which we're looking forward to. So if we can just sort of stay in touch with the top 4 and then go into the playoffs, hopefully with a good few games at home and getting a few wins, it'll be great for us. Yeah.
You just mentioned some of the teams that have went into administration. It's very tough for them. I know a lot of players were looking for new clubs. That side of things can be very difficult.
It's crazy. You can't actually believe it happens still today in rugby, but it did. I think it's a big wake-up call for English rugby and the clubs to really just look at themselves quite critically and see where they are at the moment. So it's not a good thing, and those players are looking for jobs. We snapped up a few of the Wasp boys, which is great additions to our group, but there's a lot of guys without a job, so it's really sad, and hopefully they can all get taken care of.
Absolutely. And you've always dreamed of playing in England, is that right?
That is. I've always wanted to come here. 3 years ago, it didn't work out. I had to go to France, which is also a cool experience, but now I'm finally here and very excited.
And internationally, what are your hopes there? Obviously, you've been very successful. You're hoping to go back after your injuries all cleared up?
That's always the plan. That's always something you work towards. But for now, I was firmly focused on Leicester. It's going to be a good 7 months trying to get back to fitness firstly and then getting back to form as quickly as possible.
And for you, was rugby always your first sport?
Yes, it was. I did everything at school, and then about grade 10 or so, I decided, no, it's only rugby from here on in. Yeah.
George, how are you finding your rugby at the minute? Obviously, you're out with an Achilles injury, so how has all that been?
Yeah, it's obviously a challenging time when you're injured. This is my first long-term injury, really, so it's quite a new experience to me. But I've tried to just use it as an opportunity, really, to have a bit of a rest. Try and refresh physically and mentally, and then hopefully work on a few areas of my game so I can come back a better player. So hopefully not too much longer now. It's been good that the lads at the club have been playing well. They're in good form, so hopefully a few weeks' time I'll be back out there.
I've been talking to some other players who are also injured at the moment, and they spoke about the psychological side of things and how the sports psychologist can really help. Is that something at Sale that is in place for you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's obviously a big part of it now, especially long-term injuries. So it's probably just as challenging as physically getting right. You need to mentally deal with everything as well. Obviously, deal with the injury, and then the process, if it's a long one, can sometimes be such that you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel in some instances. So it's a massive part of it. Sale have been great in terms of offering help in a variety of ways, really, which has really helped me. And hopefully I'm on the home stretch now.
And for the team as a whole, you mentioned that they're going well at the minute, in good form.
Yeah, they are. They've started the season brilliantly. So the boys are really enjoying playing rugby. They're enjoying the way they're playing and being together, really. I think that's the main thing I've noticed, is how well they like each other's company, and then that transfers onto the field as well.
And how is the reintegration of the international players coming back into the squad? How's that been?
I've not seen them yet because I think they've got a few days off, but I've spoke to them. Yeah, obviously it probably didn't go as well as what they'd have wanted to, so it's important for them as well to probably have a bit of a few days off and try and chill out a bit. I think come next week, preparing for the Ulster game, they'll be chomping at the bit to get going again. So we'll see. Yeah.
It can be quite intense for them, I'm sure, especially when you're not getting the results as well. You go into camp for those few weeks together, then you're not really getting the results that you wanted. I'm sure it's tough then to just come back in and to be, expected just to slot right back in with your club. Yeah, it is.
It's always, even going the other way as well, from club to country, it always takes a bit of time, and then coming back the other way, country to club, you just got to really quickly try and refocus, really, and throw yourself into it. There's no other way to do it. You can't dip your toe in. You just got to come back in and get straight back into what we do at the club. It's obviously a little bit different to what they do at England. So the boys are experienced enough. They'll be fine with that.
And for you, obviously after injury, is that the hope to get back in with England?
Hopefully, yeah, I've still got obviously massive ambitions to try and play international rugby, and all I need to do is get back fit and play as well as I can for Sale, and then everything else is probably out of my control in terms of selection. So look, I'll try and do everything to come back a better player, and hopefully I can do that.
There's a lot of talk about Eddie Jones at the minute as manager, head coach. What do you make of him as a coach?
Oh, I've always really enjoyed Eddie as a coach. The clarity and the way he prepares teams have been second to none when I've been involved anyway. So yeah, look, like I said, it probably didn't go the way they wanted it to, but I don't think it'd be through a lack of trying or a lack of preparation. It's just the moment in time, I suppose. So yeah, look, all you can do as players is do your job, and everything else is out of your control.
How have you found playing against Ireland?
Ireland's always a tough game, whether you're against the provinces or the national team. You know what you're going to come up against. It's always a physical game, big battle at the breakdown and the kicking game and things like that. So it's always a close one. It's always a difficult one. But obviously Ulster, we've got Ulster first round, which will be they're in great form, aren't they? So that'll be a good challenge for us.
Is there any player from the Ireland team that you admire?
There's a few, yeah. Obviously, same position as me, Johnny Sexton, who's led the way, I suppose, I think, for a number of years now. Obviously, captains that team. He's someone you always watch and you admire the way he plays. But I always look at Ireland, I think the back three players as well as the back row, and I know they're two different positions, but the back three in terms of like in the air, winning the kicking game and all them things, and then the back row at the breakdown, they're always two of the main things you need to get right against Irish teams, and that's where the best players are at.
Alex Craig, how are you finding your rugby at the minute at Gloucester?
Yeah, well, obviously at the moment I'm actually injured, which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, in terms of the team, we started off the season really well, and then we've had a couple of defeats, but obviously going into Heineken Cup, it's very exciting. Brings a new challenge, playing obviously different teams and different venues and stuff, so no, it's very exciting at the same time.
And for you with injury, how do you find all that side of things? Because I'm sure it can be mentally tough to be watching on when you want to be out there.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously it's a bit frustrating, but yeah, hopefully it won't be too long before I'm back out on the pitch. Yeah, won't be too long, hopefully.
And what improvements do you hope to see in the team, say, looking on from last season?
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously looking to build on again from last season. We had a very good season last year. We improved our place in the league. And yeah, we've got a lot of talent in the squad. So, I mean, I think the boys deserve, to be in this competition. And hopefully we can show that on the pitch when we get the opportunities to play.
And you play Bordeaux in the first game of the Heineken Champions Cup. A tough one to begin with?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously a big team in France. So yeah, obviously it'll be a big challenge for the squad. But obviously it's very exciting as well. I personally really enjoy playing French teams. So yeah, it'll be exciting.
What do you enjoy about French teams? They're very physical?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, no, they're obviously, they're known for their ability to pass the ball around, their flair. But I think they can mix it with their big packs. So they've got a bit of everything really. So yeah.
And internationally, how do you find the Scottish side of things at the moment? You've obviously got a few caps yourself. Do you hope to kick on with that?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I've not really been in the picture for a while, a couple of injuries and stuff, but yeah, it's definitely something that yeah, I'm hoping to get back to at some point. So yeah, I just need to focus on myself for now, and if I'm playing well enough, I'm playing well enough. But at the moment, just focus on my club and trying to get back fit for that and play as well as I can for my club side Gloucester.